live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Mick Strawn.
Is Witchboard one word? Like, wouldn't it normally be 2 words?
Well, I don't know. What? What? It's a made-up word. You mean the other? Oh, you mean the other made-up word, Witchboard? Well, that was made up 2 words.
That was one of the dumb thoughts I had last night about at 1 a.m. So I was like, wait, shouldn't it be 2 words?
You know, when you make up a word, you can do it any way you want.
It's a 1986 movie called Witchboard.
Yes.
Friends playing with a Ouija, which I didn't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, there you go.
What's his name? And the movie told me how to pronounce it.
This is 86.
Ouija.
It's pronounced Ouija, not Ouija. It comes from the French and German words for yes, oui and ja, Ouija.
A late night party unleash a demonic spirit who begins hunting them. Yeah, because they summon this spirit through the Ouija.
You know, I want to say that in all I can't think of the word. To be honest, I worked on this film.
I'm so glad you confessed. Well, you were
I just wanted to get that off my chest.
Special effects, right?
I was a special effects assistant.
Okay.
Yes.
Were you the guy that moved the blinds?
No, you know what? Here, the funny thing is a lot of the stuff that I did was cut. We did a hand coming out of out of the Ouija board that was sitting on the coffin.
Yes, I remember you were getting ready for a film festival and you asked me to find that scene.
Right.
And
you said, no, it's not in there.
It.
And I was like, well, wait a minute. But okay, we did film it. And it's a gag that I have.
Sounds cool.
It's a gag I've used several times since. The funny thing is that on this film, the framing of coming up to it was wrong. In other words, the way I could see why they couldn't do it is because the way that they were coming into the frame, you almost needed to be overhead, and they didn't do a setup shot for it coming overhead. You know, because the hand has to reach up and come at you to be anything at all, and to be coming down the side of it like this when it's literally a box that comes through. I mean, it makes that outside edge really awkward for it. So the thing is it is easy, and this is a good point in general, is that how you do effects kind of has a lot to do with how you set up the shots as you get into it. And these shots, you know, having known what the effect was, and it was a great effect, it really was, but the shot coming into it didn't lend itself to it, and so then they just did a cut of her showing nothing down below and just 2 hands coming up in.
Yeah.
So it got the same idea out, although I think it would have been much more powerful if the shots leading in had been coordinated correctly with the effect itself.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like the scene with the hammer. They showed the hammer up above.
Right.
And you're expecting the hammer to fall.
Right. And then the drywall falls.
But the drywall was there.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Coming in on the hammer and coming in on the hammer.
Yeah. I'm waiting for it to fall through his head.
That's yeah. And the thing is, I love Kevin Tenney. He's a really nice guy. He's the director, and he's a cool guy. And I take it, you know, this was one of his first films, so it was one of my first films. But the one thing that I did do that did show up on film that I thought was really great was when the hatchet hits with the actor.
Yeah.
We did 2 hatchet
or
shots.
misses his head. He's like, you could have killed me.
Right, you could have killed me, right? We did 2 hatchet shots. One was with Tawny, and one was with that. They're in two different places, and that was the one that they wound up using. And he had to act backwards, and she had to act backwards in hers. She was not very good at it. It was not in her wheelhouse.
She's not a award-winning actress, but I enjoyed watching her.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Yeah,
this was around the time of the White Snake.
Yeah, that's right.
The Still of the Night.
Yeah, the Still of the Night. And she's making love to that car.
Love?
She's making... Yeah, she's like...
Is this the love I've been waiting... So she was married to David Coverdale. Is she still married to him?
I have no idea.
Oh.
You know, the funny thing... This could be a story time with Mick.
I think this whole thing is a story time, really.
Is this so far?
I think it's, the ones you work on are generally kind of...
Become that. Okay, yeah. Well, I was just going to talk about Tawny Katane when she worked on Hercules. And she came into town, and let's say that she wasn't really super popular with the people in New Zealand because the New Zealanders they aren't starstruck by anything, you know, and she literally missed a day of shooting because she found a great store in downtown New Zealand, and that just absolutely got under the craw of everybody on the crew. Oh yeah, the fact that it was shopping. Particularly, you know, I mean, if it had been a toothache or something like that, I think that they would have gone with it. But that it was shopping just choked them out. I mean, they were just. But you know, I have to say that she was a beautiful.
But if you just look at her, she's the type that would go shopping.
Right. You know,
it's like
it's totally right. I mean, she just looks like it. She just totally she looks like a pampered pet kind of girl, you know, and she was a kind of.
Of course, so does David Coverdale. Yeah, he used to at least.
But long hair. But she was also that way on set a little bit, you know, and just did not endear herself. Well, anyway, but that's you know, the thing is she did look good on the set. Yeah. I have to say that even Hercules many years later, she looked great. I
didn't like the glasses guy. I don't know who that was, but
yeah. I mean,
maybe it was just the prop of the glasses that irritated me.
It
wasn't really him. It was just the fact that his glasses were like,
well, they were the wrong size.
Yeah,
you know, there's something about trying to make somebody look like a dweeb by putting glasses on them that are oversized.
Right. Especially sunglasses.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. It's just
you couldn't see anything.
Oh man, there was another thing that I was going to.
Why would you be working on a construction site with those glasses anyway? But anyway.
There was I did think it was very funny at the beginning. Now, did you notice that she was fighting that dress?
Yes.
The dress was totally too big for her, and it kept going slide. The whole dress would slide one side and then start sliding down, and she physically on screen just pull the dress back over and go back up like this.
Well, it looked almost like the dress she wore in that video where she was on the car.
It did, really.
She was doing the backflips or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. But I swear, it looked like she was doing 3 out of 5 rounds with that son of a gun dress.
Well, there's the scene with at the beginning with Brandon Sinclair. The Stephen Nichols played Brandon Sinclair.
Right.
So when they're on the board, I had a problem with this the way they framed it. I don't know who the cinematographer was, but. Or whoever shot this.
It was Roy Wagner.
Roy Wagner. Oh my God, I'm going to trash Roy Wagner.
No, you're not going to trash Roy Wagner.
Okay, well, let me just say.
He was a young DP at that point.
I didn't like how it was framed.
Yeah.
Because what they did is they did like a medium shot of the two guys, of her and him together.
Right.
And they're playing the Ouija board. And it looked like she was like. basically to give you or they were playing with his penis and they kept looking down like this, but you didn't see what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So they didn't do a wide shot. They didn't do it was kind of the whole thing with the setup thing,
you know, but maybe they were just looking for a different market,
because there was one time where they were looking down, he was looking down, she was looking down, and she was like this. So I don't know.
I like that.
But Roy Wagner is awesome. I gotta say that.
Okay. There is a. Of course he is. There is a point where she goes, "Hey, that's my axe." Which I thought was okay, great. But the other thing was this: did you notice how 80s could you get with the enormous waterbed. Right?
Right. Yeah.
And what was great was how difficult it was
to get out of
for
it.
them to act on it.
And get out of it. I saw them trying to get out of it.
Yeah,
like,
right. Getting out of it was like, God. But every time they got on the waterbed, everything sort of just started to like not kind of make sense anymore. And the thing is I thought to myself, that's exactly what waterbeds were like.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't get on. It's not like you just sat comfortably on on your side on a waterbed to shoot the breeze with somebody sitting on a chair next to it. No, you didn't do it. It flattened your ass.
Well, this is why I was lucky to be. I got a waterbed in the 90s.
Right.
And it was one of those that they put extra filling in it to make it more firm.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it actually didn't move very much. So I could actually lay out or sit on it comfortably without knocking something off.
I remember talking to a guy on a construction site, and he was a true construction worker. In that, one time we were just talking. It's like, so what are you gonna do tonight? He says, you know what I'm gonna do tonight? I'm gonna get together with my girlfriend, and we're gonna pull the blankets off of the waterbed, pump up as far as I can, and dump a half a gallon of baby lotion on it.
Oh my god!
And having awesome. A good time.
Wow. Well, okay.
Wow.
You just gave me you reminded me that in college I did buy a waterbed that was full motion waterbed.
Yeah.
I bought it used, and it was actually coming in handy because you could use your hand in one point and the other point would pop up. You know what I'm saying? Like you push it down up here and it pops up down here.
So is that where that radio station got the name The Wave?
Probably. But when I moved, I didn't want to move the waterbed, so I dragged it outside. Yeah. And I stabbed it with a knife. And I know the neighbor was watching me, and I was like, he probably thinks I'm like killing somebody or something. But all this water came spraying out of it. It was probably the most fun I ever had. Anyway, enough about waterbeds.
I love the reference to Sigmund and Roy.
Yeah, yes. Even though they said it wrong. It was Siegfried and Roy. He said, didn't he say Sigmund? He said Sigmund.
He said Sigmund. No, he said Sigmund and Roy, which is not.
Why can't you?
Which is an amazing.
Well, it's like they changed brand names, I guess.
By the way, the whole shtick of the sheriff to have to have like a down home kind of shtick was going to be the magic thing. He wasn't good enough to carry that off. He was nowhere near good enough to carry that off.
Right.
I mean, that was like acting 103 maybe, and he hadn't yet gotten all the way out of acting 101, hadn't graduated yet, hadn't turned in the paper. I'm just saying. And there was another thing that kind of got me is things that you notice, and I notice it all the time, but in this case it really got me is extras. What extras do on the job.
Yeah.
The guys that were moving the wood.
Which just didn't have a lot of extras in it.
Well, it did have one particular guy that was moving wood from here.
Was he in the foreground?
Yeah, in the foreground, right?
Yeah.
And he was just moving boards, like cutoff boards. There was a pile of them. And he was just moving them from one side of the pile to the other side of the pile.
2 feet. Move his feet. Move his 2 feet over here.
He just kept doing that.
I noticed that too.
Yeah, I was like, wow, there you go. You could have worked that out a little bit. The medium. That was the other thing. Oh, I had
the medium. Oh gosh.
The other thing that we did is we did the fall with the thing going. I made that thing that goes up through her chest.
Up through her chest. Yeah. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good gag. I mean, it was.
They missed a couple things. Like there was a shot where they zoomed in on the board.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for like the planchette to move or something.
Yeah.
And nothing happened.
Yeah.
I was like, and then there was one other mistake that I noticed. It was just a slight mistake, but it was like when she was playing the answering machine and Brandon starts talking. It was still beeping when he started talking. Like I just thought that was kind of funny.
There you go. I kept thinking that the medium was channeling Ruth Buzzy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, she was totally. She was doing a Ruth Buzzy shtick all the way through. Totally. It was really funny because I mean, if at that time you would have been close enough to the laugh in to have noticed it, and I only noticed it because I was watching Laugh In when I was growing up.
Right.
But I was like, oh my God, she's totally stealing her whole bit.
Why was there only one jump scare that I could think of? It's the one where two hands grab her neck. That was like the time that there was like really a jump scare. Yeah, the rest of it was like more determinate. But one of my favorite things in this movie was the knife falling down on the top, and then the ketchup knocking over.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Dropping right at the end of the knife. And I was like, why? First of all, why was the ketchup there with the lid off?
That was artistic as hell.
That was awesome.
It was kind of a. It was kind of a French thing,
yes.
It kind of it was like the next shot that would have followed that would have been a beach ball alone going down the beach into the fog.
It would have been better in black and white.
Yeah, in black and white, right? Exactly. There was, but it was actually really cool.
It was cool. I like it.
It was like somebody's been studying the French Impressionists.
They must have been They had to practice that one to get it lined up right.
They had to. That's right. I'm pretty sure that was Tassel that would have, run that one through. Did you notice that there were 4 of us that were assisting him?
Yes,
at various times, on the credits because as I remember, we just came and went as we. It was like that was just part-time stuff for us. Which if you notice the credits at the end, of Witchboard, they were even shorter than Halloween. It was like that was the shortest list of credits.
And a lot shorter than Venom.
I have a feeling that the Venom credits are still running.
So one of my favorite special effects was when the medium was there and all this stuff was happening in the room. Yeah. And somebody was just behind the blinds going,
there was one thing that I liked. There was the most set up the barrels.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
when you knew something was going to happen.
You knew, right. I mean, you look and you see, here is the plastic barrels, first of all. Plastic barrels, just...
Yeah.
And you saw them just sitting there stacked up like that, and in front of them is the little table that they're sitting at.
I was surprised I didn't see a little mark on the...
Yeah, little tape mark.
This is where you're supposed to stand.
X, here's where you're supposed to stand. And I was, I was like, oh, that was a little bit... you totally saw that.
I did like how the axe kind of got that guy, though, Brandon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, in the face. Like, I like the shot where it was coming out.
Yeah, it was really good.
But yeah, there were some dummies in this one,
too. They were pretty good, though. They were good.
Rosemarie, you got to mention Rosemarie.
Yeah, that's right. Rosemarie was
did she need a paycheck? Was she at that point in her life, or?
Yeah.
Because I don't really know. I mean,
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Because she was in a lot of stuff in like 60s and 70s, I know, but I don't know.
She was in Dick Van Dyke's show, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah, Dick Van Dyke,
she was one of the writers, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you saw her. Yes, I'm sure that, at that point in her life, she was probably doing Love Boat every month. Yeah.
Love Boat. There was rock music in this one, too.
Yeah.
It was like, it was a weird song. I was like,
by the way, this was my first big outdoor fogging experience, through the cemetery and stuff, and running around with these big Ajiba foggers, and
there was some. What about inside the house?
It was pretty thick inside the house.
Yeah, it was really thick.
I didn't. I wasn't there when they were inside the house, and I'm going to point out this. The house that you saw there, with the bay window, where he does that really terrible fall out the window.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That was on a camera crane, by the way.
I know. Actually, I looked at the extras on the DVD.
Yeah,
they showed that it was like he was just laying there. It was great.
It was so off speed and just. Yeah, that was kind of hard to watch, I have to say. But the thing I was going to point out is that house with the bay window, the round window, was also the house that was used in House.
Ah.
That house It's the classic. It was also the same house that they used on a TV show that ended not long ago with the mathematician. Numbers.
Okay. Yeah.
Numbers.
Oh, yeah.
That was the same house.
Oh.
That everybody has shot. You know, it is right next to the Masonic Hall off of 3rd Street.
Oh.
Or Wilshire. Somewhere down there. Anyway. Yeah, it's like the classic. Everybody, the thing is, the neighbors come out and complain just enough to get enough money, and everybody knows how to play the game.
Oh,
they've been playing it for years. You know?
Of course, I would complain. In fact, I'm going to complain about it right now. Maybe I'll get some money.
Yeah, that's right. Well, send in an email. You know, one of the advantages of email is you get a good complaint in.
Maybe I could change the timestamp on the email to like 1986, and then
why couldn't you
send it to the director and say,
why not?
I live in that neighborhood.
Hell, send it to Kevin. I know him.
And hospital hallways in horror movies are always extremely dark, and there's never anybody there.
Exactly.
And this hospital was crazy dark. Like,
yeah, right. You ever actually seen a hospital?
No noises or anything.
Well, you could tell how low budget it was because the ambulance just pulled up to a curb, to an office building in downtown Van Nuys.
Right.
I mean, that was it. The emergency entrance.
And that was the same.
It just had the cross on it, and that was it. That's the whole thing.
Well, that had to be the same ambulance my uncle drove, because I remember it was in the mid '80s. My uncle was an ambulance driver.
Yeah.
That's how he got his start. Like, he was a nurse, and he...
All right.
So, but yeah, he was an ambulance driver to start off his career, and I remember him showing me the ambulance. It looked exactly like that one in that movie, and they hit the sirens and everything.
Oh, right, yeah.
I thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
Oh, well, there you go.
But yeah, so... Oh, yeah. I wrote down, like the blood spray. I guess is when the axe hit the head.
Yeah,
right. Upside down? Why did I write that down?
Upside down? What was upside down?
Oh! There was a point where Tanya Catane was trying to, talk to David, the spirit, who she thought was David,
right.
And the planchette was upside down.
Oh,
it just looked really bizarre. But it never moved, because it was where he wouldn't answer her.
Right. Yeah. Well, Dave's kind of
because he was gone somewhere. I think he was. That was when the barrel thing was.
It wasn't really Dave. It was.
But I like how he went off and killed somebody and then came back and then kept talking to her like, it's like, where'd you go?
Yeah, hey.
I was just doing something.
I was busy. So, now.
So I think Freddy Krueger stole some of the tricks.
Or vice versa.
Some of Tanya's tricks. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Nightmare on Elm Street was first. But just barely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just by the same, they were being made at the same minutes,
But yeah, so I actually kind of enjoyed it. I mean, it was what I expected. It was kind of a cheesy 80s horror movie. And that's pretty much what I got.
Just to really piss you off.
Oh,
I'm gonna give it a higher rating than Halloween.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna give it a 2.9.
See, I'm kind of at 2.5.
Yeah, no, there you go.
If I would have seen her naked longer, that probably would go up. It would inch up a little bit.
You sure about that? Okay.
You like my choice of words?
Well, inch up. Are you sure it wouldn't millimeter up?
I do have to say I did watch. I think it's "Is This Love," that video. Is this love that I'm feeling? And she was slowly gyrating on the car and stuff, and kicking her legs up.
That's right. Yeah,
but she was in 4 videos. didn't know
Was
that.
she?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
For Whitesnake videos.
Yeah, but look,
specifically.
look at her right there. Just beautiful. I mean, the hair and her face were just beautiful.
What did you think about the reaction shots during the cemetery scene? How would you think about that?
Yeah, they looked like they were filmed at a completely different time of day.
Right.
Which was very difficult. I mean...
But her doing like the...
Yeah. Huh?
Looking around like...
Yeah.
It just seemed a little unnatural to me. But.
And she, at first she believed it, and then she didn't, and then she did. And, yeah.
And then the main actor was unique.
Yes.
There was one guy in the movie that I've never seen. I think it was his only movie.
The guy that drove the Cobra
with the glasses.
Oh, with the glasses.
No,
yeah.
he was. I can't remember.
The guy with that was.
I'm thinking of Ryan Carroll. He only did 2 movies, so it was more than one. He did Witchboard, then he did The Dark Mist, and then he later became a director.
Anyway, cool.
Yeah. So I think we're done. Unless you have a wonderful story to add to it.
I got nothing. I actually I think that this is the first. This might have been the first film I worked with Tazo on. I think this was the first film that I worked with Tazo on.
No good Roy Wagner stories?
Not on this one.
I'm digging.
No, no, it was all Nightmare on Elm Street 3 for me. Yeah, that's when I really got to experience the total Roy Wagner of life. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.